YMCA training school were getting restless days after a blizzard buried Springfield, Massachusetts. Even a modified game of football in the gym failed to burn off their excess energy. Two instructors had tried but failed to devise activities that would interest them. Then, James Naismith, a recently appointed phys ed instructor, took the challenge and developed a game that kept them active in the winter. Grey basketball was invented in the December of 1891 at the YMCA training school by the Canadian Dr. James Naismith. He was a physical educator, physician, Christian chaplain, and sports coach. Furthermore, he also created the first set of basketball rules. The 13 basic rules, which includes prohibitions against running with the ball and shouldering. Ball being played on television, basketball training clinics, or consumers paying to buy tickets to see a game of basketball to get entertained could be related to service business. Purchasing the ball used in basketball, buying a specific basketball team jerseys, buying basketball shoes are all related to merchandising business. The process of buying materials and using machinery to produce and sell basketballs could all be related to the manufacturing business. The major benefit of the creation of basketball is that it provides an exciting and easy-to-learn game that could be played indoors in a smaller space that emphasizes skill and teamwork instead of force. It provides plenty of exercise without the roughness of football, soccer, or rugby, since those team sports would threaten bruises and broken bones if played in a confined space. Although badminton, other indoor sport created before basketball, could be played indoors in a small space, but basketball promotes teamwork and good communication between players. Basketball allows many players to play at once. Playing basketball helps you to make new friends and encourages good teamwork. For example, making good plays and defending requires good communication and peers supporting each other. It could be played by people of all ages and all abilities. Even people in wheelchairs can enjoy shooting a basketball. Although strength could help, but shooting the ball around freely should not require excessive strength. Basketball was the first indoor major team sport that many players could play at once. Basketball came out before other major indoor playable team sports such as volleyball, 1895, indoor soccer futsal, 1930, and floor hockey, 1962, were created. You can find a hoop at most local parks and school grounds. If there isn't any hoops around, we could copy what Naismith did, use a basket, or even a garbage bin. Basketball satisfied the ultimate need back then in 1891, for an appealing team sport that could be played in a gymnasium, which could keep students active during the winter months, so that they could burn off their excess energy, focus better academically, and build teamwork skills. Other major gym sports have not been created yet at that time, like volleyball. Without the invention, instructors may organize activities that may be relatively dangerous. It further meets the wants of the spectators, for a sport that could be viewed indoors in the winter. And like hockey, which requires the arena to be cooler, basketball viewers do not have to go through extra hassle by wearing any excess clothing to keep warm and comfortable. Furthermore, it meets the wants, for a sport that could be played by many school teams, since a lot of schools have gyms, basketball equipment are affordable. A lot of places could install the basketball nets, but it is relatively easy for teams to travel to different schools to play. Whereas hockey arenas are few, as not all schools have the luxury, money or space for an hockey rink. Naismith overcame the challenge of creating an easy-to-pick-up indoor team sport, successfully dealing with the rowdy class, meeting a time constraint of only 14 days to create game, choosing the appropriate ball and what to use as nets, and figuring out how to not use a ladder every time to retrieve the ball by making a hole at the bottom of the net, which made basketball more energetic. He was a determined inventor who met the request of creating a game that could be played indoors within 14 days for the boys at that school. He took this seriously, because he believed that his role of a physical educator is to not give up easily, but find ways to engage the students through making efficient use of any resources available. He made use of simple resources while being able to make his creation thrilling, and Naismith kept on looking for new ways to solve old problems. He had good analytical skills which he used to analyze the pros and cons of other sports, which helped him came up with basketball. Knowing that he needed to develop a game that could play at the school's gymnasium, he used logical and efficient processing skills and analyzed the most popular games of those times: soccer, football, hockey, and baseball, all of which were played outdoors. This was demonstrated as he analyzed the hazards of playing those games indoors, so he figured out what made each of those team sports popular, passing and scoring, but removed the contact component. Finally, he also figured that making the goal unreachable by placing it high above players' heads would further eliminate body contact and adds another skill component to shooting and accuracy, which made the game more exciting and competitive. Naismith was not motivated to invent basketball for financial gain, but for the greater good of his students and others interested in playing, which made his invention successful. Not focusing on money may allow you to focus on other aspects of coming up with a successful creation, whereas, if you spend too much effort on how money could be generated, you might have a harder time on focusing on the development of the athletes and the Although later on basketball became a multi-billion-dollar business around the world, it was not because Naismith wanted to, but because of the fact that basketball is fun to play, without people having to get hurt, and has many health benefits related from playing it. Basketball contributes heavily to economic growth in the following 4 types of income sources. Let's take a typical professional basketball game, for example. Gate receipts, tickets, concessions, sponsorships, media broadcasting, and merchandise. Because basketball is extremely appealing to spectators due to the uncertainty of the game outcome, high stakes, such as playoffs, and an enjoyable social activity with friends. Thus, many people purchase basketball tickets, which in return allows the NBA to use those profits to make further investments into better stadiums and to keep the league running sustainably. A larger budget will enhance the overall experience of attending a live game, which draws even more people. There is demand for food and beverages during a game, as viewers may get hungry or want to drink beer to enhance their experience. Thus, the venue must supply the food, which allows for greater profit. Furthermore, there is an increase in employment that makes the economy successful, since the NBA game requires many laborers, from gate staff, chefs, cashiers, maintenance workers to security, which averages out to thousands of workers per game. In the early 1960s, Sports League were granted the right to sell rights to TV and radio networks, which resulted in million-dollar contracts with the NBA. Many people are Rogers or Bell TV clients, and thus, they will profit from viewers. Rogers and Bell contains TSN, thus TSN will profit from Rogers and Bell, a dependent chain. Furthermore, broadcasting companies will hire employees to film the match, and an editing team which will raise employment. Merchandising companies will also make good economic profits from basketball fans, as fans will want to buy their favorite team items, such as a jersey or hat, to show off their team spirit. Or stores making a profit for selling basketball equipment. Relation to business. Basketball creates full-time jobs for professional players, coaches, managers, and engineers.